Hey guys, I got a new tutorial for you to show a pretty simple um, web page smooth scrolling technique just using some basic HTML and jQuery. And it's fairly easy to do, and I think you guys will like it. Um, and the example is basically what you see here. I can sort of flip in between these different navigation items on the left here. And as you can see, at the same time, I could simply just scroll in between these pages if I really wanted to. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. It doesn't take too much time. It's fairly simple, and it's probably easier than you think. So let's get started here. I'm going to open up Dreamweaver. I already have it open here. Alright, this is what I'm working on. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start a new document. Okay. And what I want to do here is we're going to use HTML5. So what I'll do is I'll select HTML5 from my drop down and just a blank layout and everything. Say create. Alright, so we got a blank page. And what I want to do is I'm going to add a few tags into my page. These are going to be the sections that we create that we're going to link in between. So what that's going to look like is section, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this 5 times, paste it in a few more times, and I'm going to want to write a few different things in here. For now I'll just put page 1. Alright, so I'm going to have, oh, okay, I'll save it now. Alright, so this is in your if you're using Dreamweaver, this preview is probably going to look like this. Um, don't be too thrown off by the preview window in Dreamweaver. It's only going to help us so much in this whole thing. What we're going to be going by is sort of what it looks like in the web browser. Anyway, so what I'll do now is maybe start. I'll style these sections, each of these sections, to have some dimensions to them. Um, so what I want to do is, by the way, if you're not using HTML5, this would work with divs too. I'm just using sections just because it makes a little more sense semantically. But this will work with divs too. Just give them give them all of the same class or whatever. Anyway, um, what I'll do is select one of these and create a style for my section tags. So this will define the style for the section tags. And I'm going to make, I want the display to be block for these. And I want to make sure that the height is bigger than whatever screen size we're looking at. So, something really big. I'm going to use like 2000. That's going to probably cover at least my screen here. If you have a huge monitor or a big resolution, you might need to bump that up so that it looks good. And that's probably a good idea to make it as big as you can. Anyway, so make that height 2000, and maybe flip over to the background color, and we'll choose like some light color here for now, and say apply. Okay. Alright, so our preview looks okay. I'm gonna pull this open in Google Chrome here or Firefox. I just have a look at it, and you can see what we have now is these really big sections. As we scroll down, we can see the other ones that we have. Very good. That's what we want. One thing that I don't like about this is this border that's around the edge here, so I'm going to go back in Dreamweaver. The way we get rid of that, as you may know, is the body element of our HTML. It comes by default with some margin on it. So and that's wrapping all our elements. So what we'll do is we'll just create a style in our style sheet up here. We'll say body, and we'll say margin 0. And now it doesn't have any margin around it. And just flip back. Okay, that looks better. And the other thing, maybe in our body, I'll also define a font. And I'll make it Arial here. What I'll do is I'll say 40 pixels Arial. Alright, so now it's a nicer font than what was there. And the next thing we should probably do is we're going to give each of these sections an ID, and then we'll be able to link to different sections in our page based on the ID. It's fairly simple to do. So the way we'll do that is we'll just come in our HTML, say ID equals, we'll just call these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of thing. Alright, so now each of those has an ID. And what we can also do now, since these all have IDs, is we can create specific styles for each one of these. Now we don't want to go crazy. I mean, we want them all to be basically the same, but I'm just going to maybe change the background color, and depending on the background color we might need to tweak the text color or something like that. So what I did was I had a nice color palette chosen in Adobe Cooler. Somebody else sort of put these colors together, and I just thought it was a nice set of colors for this project. So I'm going to use these the hex colors that this provides, and you see that it gives them all down here at the bottom. So I'll just be able to copy and paste those as I go here. Basically the idea though is I'm going to create a new style block for the ID 1 in this case, and I'll maybe change the background and use that first color. Alright, so real easy. So here's what I mean. I mean, you can't see the text anymore because it's a bit too dark of a background. But we're basically all we're doing here is overriding whatever styles we want to override. So all we're really doing is only changing the properties we need to. And in this case, I'll say color. Change that to white. Okay, so and because we did that just on that one, it's not going to affect any of the other ones. So I'm just going to copy that style and paste that in the next one. Just change what I need here. So this one, I'm going to grab background color. Okay, so and I need to change the selector so that it's the ID 2. Okay, so scroll down now, and our page 2 is a slightly different color there. And just going to do this with the other ones. So 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and just copy the color codes over. This is 3, 4, and the last one. Okay, I'm gonna just preview this in my web browser. What it looks like. It's starting to look a bit better. Okay, so I might not want this one to have the white text. That was just the override I copied over. So I know for 3, and I don't think for the 4th one I did white text. So I'll just take the color FFF, which is white, off. Okay, so that's black on whatever color there. Okay, and I can scroll up and down and go in between these sections. So that's pretty nice. Nice colors and everything, but that's not really the whole exercise here. What we want to do is be able to kind of link in between these and be able to have a nice scroll effect or whatever in between them. So fairly simple to do that at this point. What we want to do is before all our sections, I'm going to using a new HTML5 tag create a nav. Okay, so open and close a nav tag here, and what I want to do is add some links in here. So what I'll do is I'll type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and with that I can sort of just highlight each of these and make Dreamweaver do the work. But what I want to do is I'll highlight 1, for example, here, and I want it to link to #1 because it's going to link to our section 1. Okay, and I'll do the same with the rest of these. #2, #3, #4, and #5. Okay, and let me just show you here. So I'll save this and open this back up in my web browser. Okay, I have this big hideous navigation at the top, but even just doing that, I can link in between these sections. You can see in the URL bar up here, it appends this #4 to the end of it. That just means it's scrolled all the way down to whatever element the ID 4 belongs to. So we created a section, gave it the ID 4, so it links to that. And because we haven't changed the styles of this navigation yet, we have to scroll all the way up to the top here, and just to get all the way back to our navigation, and be able to click on those. So a few more styles we want to do. We're going to create a new style for our navigation, which so I'll just create a selector for our nav element. It's not an ID, it's an element. So so it doesn't get the pound in front of it. And what we want to do is say position, and we'll give it fixed. Okay, and that should, if we go and look at it again in our web browser, see now it's overlaid on top of it, and you know that's not very functional, but or it is functional, but it's not. It doesn't really look very good. It looks terrible. So we'll change some positioning and stuff like that, and make that look a little better in a second here. So one thing I did just to well, first we'll deal with this navigation actually. So what I'll do is I'm going to click on my maybe one of my navigation items, and I'll say new CSS rule, and I'm going to use the compound selector So what we can style is, I don't need body in there. It doesn't need to be there really. We want to create a selector for any A element inside our nav, so any link inside our nav. And I'll say OK. And what I'm going to do is I'll change the display to block. Just say apply. You can see what happens there. And what else did I do? I want my type maybe to be like 12 pixels. Okay. Make it white. And I'll make the text align to the center. And background, I want it to be black. And I'll maybe give it a bit of padding, maybe like 10 pixels or something. And what else did I do? I'll give it a bit of margin to space it out from each other, maybe like 3 pixels or something. So they're a little spaced apart. So I'll say OK. And that doesn't look quite the way we want it up there. But I'll just hit save and we'll have a look at what we did here. So basically, these are each just their own little blocks now, and they're spaced out from each other a little bit. And I guess really the key trick that we did was we made the navigation container by making that position. We applied that position fix to it, and what that does is the container will no longer really space out the full width of the page like we're sort of used to. What it does is it sort of, you can think of it like shrink wrapping around all the elements. So they're not spanning the full width anymore. They're sort of just shrinking to the content that sort of fills it. So, but in doing so, it allows us to sort of be able to overlay it on top of everything. And I'll just show you, if I turn off position fixed, it will look sort of like there, I turned it off. So that's what we sort of see in Dreamweaver. This is what it would look like if we hadn't set position to fixed. As soon as we put position to fixed, it sort of shrink wraps around all those elements and overlays it on top of everything. So so now we have this sort of navigation that we can sort of use on each one of our pages. Okay, that's pretty cool. And one other thing I'll do is I'll just apply some padding to our views, so this way it will sort of space it out from the side, and we'll be able to see our text instead of it being underneath. So back up under my our section, I'll apply some padding. Let me see. We'll do like 60 pixels for now. 60 pixels padding. See what that looks like. Okay, that's all right. What I'll do is I'll apply a second. I kind of like how spaced from the top that is. What I'll do is I'll apply some padding left to just adjust that left padding on its own. So I'll make this maybe double what I had it, 120 pixels. So now just that padding left will be affected. Alright, perfect. So there you go. We're sort of linking in between all of them fairly nicely. Now here's the real key here. is we're going to use jQuery to do a quick sort of operation on what we already have existing here. We're going to use jQuery to sort of handle a nice page scrolling effect for us, and it won't sort of interfere with anything else we've done. And this is a nice technique too, because if somebody for some reason didn't have JavaScript enabled, they would still get to link in between all these pages without without seeing the scrolling. So it's sort of nice like that. So what I want to do is I need to include jQuery first of all on my page. So what I'll search is jQuery Google code, sure. And Google hosts jQuery and a number of other JavaScript libraries similar. So I want to come to Google, and we'll include the jQuery that Google is hosting for us. That way we won't have to download it into our project. This is just going to be a one-page thing, so that this is kind of suitable for that. If you were working on a real website, you would probably want to download jQuery. But here's what we want to do. Come down to jQuery, and we'll copy the path, which is just a URL to the jQuery script. I'll copy that. And in Dreamweaver, I'll come here under the just before I close my head tag, and I want to add in a script using my insert here, and the source will be my path that I just copied off Google. So that will allow me, now we've just included jQuery. The next thing we want to do is use some sort of plugin or some kind of script to handle that scrolling for us. Now, there are plugins that do this, but the quickest and easiest way we can take care of this is the guy at CSStricks.com has come up with a nice script to handle this. So I'm just going to search CSS tricks smooth scrolling. So CSS Tricks is a nice website for a lot of cool things similar to things that we're doing today here, and a number of other things. But this smooth scrolling script is one that he came out with, and it seems to work pretty good. So what we can do is we can grab this whole script that he's got on his page here, everything in this gray box. We'll copy this, and just below where we put the jQuery in, we're going to insert a new script, and this time in the content box we can paste that big chunk of script that we just copied off CSStricks.com. We'll say OK, and now we have a fairly decent sized chunk of script up here, which you know, whatever, if you don't understand it, it's not a big deal. But in any case, we'll save this, and let's have a peek now at what this looks like when we look at it in a web browser. And sure enough, we click on these different ones, and it scrolls in between all our pages for us nicely. And it's a nice technique for a nice one-page website.